Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and this is the CSI, the DPA CSI Country Stability Index. I want to bring attention to Sri Lanka. So things are getting worse in Sri Lanka, and I think that you should have heard about this in the news. Whoops. And I want to bring attention to the worsening situation in Sri Lanka. So I want to show you this. This was the index in April 29, which isn't really that far away. It's probably around 2 weeks ago. At 2 weeks ago, the country's at risk at 40 over 100 as the nationwide protests broke out all over Sri Lanka. However, things has worsened, and now we are actually looking at a fall to just 10 out of 100 on the DPA CSI. So officially, Defense Politics Asia is now rating Sri Lanka in crisis. There's no other way to put it, but Sri Lanka is now in crisis. So what has happened? If you have not been following what is happening over at the island just off India, home belonging to 38 politicians were burned down, and 75 other houses were damaged by the angry protesters which they have defied curfews because there is a state of emergency that was called across the entire country. In response, the Ministry of Defense ordered troops to actually shoot with live bullets at anyone which attempts to damage state properties or to assault officials. Since Monday, at least 9 has died, and over 200 is injured, and I believe this number is actually on the low side. So, in the Prime Minister, which was protested against, has resigned, and the leader of the opposition, United National Party (UNP), Ranil Wickremesinghe, I'm not sure if I pronounce this. I think it should be wrong. He was actually 5-time prime ministers, and he was sworn in for his 6th time as the prime minister on Thursday, replacing the step down and disgraced prime minister and brother of the president, Mohandi Rajapaksa. However, the opposition parties and the protesters is still not happy with this appointment because they view this new prime minister, which is a 5-time old prime minister, is actually under the control of Mr. Gotabaya. They feel that he is actually his puppet, and they refuse to see this as a good thing. They continue to protest, and they want further reforms, and it is not sure how they're going to go. So looking at the rating, you will see a bit of colors into this. Red colors are the new ones, and orange ones are possible ones which is still not added into the CSI. So there is a political deadlock now because the opposition is not willing to play ball anymore, and I think even the ruling party itself don't really have much of a agreement, I guess, with the president or the prime minister. Things is not looking right. So, and in society, the mass protest light has turned off because it is now replaced with mass civil disobedience. So mass civil disobedience actually will actually override mass protest and mass rioting. And this mass civil disobedience is because they have already run out of control. It's not just basic rioting, but they are actually actively against the country's security. And this might be I'm not sure if this is too heavy in terms of the rating, or should I just put it as rioting. But to me, burning politician house just spells out of control to me, and state of emergency has been triggered. So as a result, the society is now in the -10, and this is terrible. And I also kind of put warning signs to high unemployment, because the unemployment numbers has not been coming out. So does the national debt numbers. I think the government has kind of in a breakdown, and they are not ready to even give out all these numbers, or they have no means to actually find out these numbers. However, how do I actually know this might likely trigger? Is because in India, the April's unemployment rate is actually at 7.83%, and that's India. So Sri Lanka is likely to suffer worse, and this is now at a warning sign now. It's now triggered as warning now, and there is a possible negative GDP growth as of the first quarter of 2022. And similarly, the Sri Lanka government has not decided to put out on any numbers, and I put this at warning now. This at the moment, there's still no sign of the national debt being twice the national GDP, but this thing might trigger maybe half a years down the road, when the GDP for this year might actually drop tremendously, causing the national debt to become unsustainable. But at the moment, this is not a danger now. So as a result of all these new deductions, and this orange one is still not triggered in yet, we are already now at 10 upon 100, and according to our DPA CSI guideline, at 10 upon 100 is considered country in crisis, and I think there's no other way to put this. And I want to put further warning that Sri Lanka is current because of this possible high unemployment and negative GDP growth, potential negative GDP growth, we might actually see Sri Lanka turning into a failed state in the near future, unless they can resolve their leadership crisis, this authoritarianism or dictatorship tendency, because currently the president seems to still have absolute power over the country, because he is appointing whoever he wants at this moment, seemingly, and the cabinet has been disbanded. The cabinet has totally disbanded, and there's actually no ministers at the moment. From what I have seen, I don't think the new prime minister have appointed any ministers yet. His cabinet is still not formed yet. So all these, so with the political reforms, I believe that we will be able to see Sri Lanka lift out of at least the crisis mode, going into at risk, and with this reform at the political realm, they will be able to stop this mass civil disobedience. Maybe we'll still have protests, but at least they will turn off the state of emergency. Then maybe we just reduce to just mass protests, and that will actually bring the country to a much more stable point. But at this current moment, as long as the political crisis is not resolved, and then the society's crisis will continue to persevere. Economic and financial wise, it's going to be very hard to resolve in the short term. So without political reform, we are not going to have a stable society, which will then affect the economics and the finance of the country. So this is the DPA CSI for Sri Lanka, and again, I want to declare Sri Lanka is now in crisis, and I'll see you in the next update.